Welcome to Conscious Coupling, where Frederic and Christy Whitman share their experiences of creating a conscious, connected relationship. Every week, they give practical tools, steps, and processes to help you find the loving connection with your partner. Let's get into today's conversation with Frederic and Christy.
Hey babe, I found a great Chinese place where we can go with the kids tonight.
Oh, I don't want to go there. I don't want to do that. No, it sucks.
Ouch. That's kind of harsh.
It is, and that's what we do in couples, right? Like someone comes up with an idea.
We do that in couples?
No, a lot of couples do that. We used to do that. I know you used to do that to you, or you used to do that to me. Oh my God, what if we did this? And you're like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm like, takes the winds out of the sails. So we're going to talk about today. Hey,
baby.
We're going to talk about the major principles of becoming a conscious, connected couple. And the first one is, whenever your partner comes up with a creative idea, comes up with a suggestion, when we talk about in other shows, when you're looking for a solution to a problem and you're listing all of the choices and options, hey, that's a good idea, right? Hey, that's an idea. We could do that. Instead of going, no, that's bad. I don't want that. That sucks. That's because it negates the other person and it makes them feel shut down. So if I used to come to Frederic and be like excited about something, just something silly, and I'm a very impulsive person, so I'd be like, hey, what if we did this? And he's like, well, we can't do that. That's not practical. That's not logical. That's not this, and that's not that. And I feel like.
So yeah, instead of first receiving what she's told me, I was just, me and my big energy too. I don't have as much of a big energy level as she does. My energy level is a little bit lower, and she's expecting me to say, okay, cool, yeah, that's good, let's do that. So it kind of is deflating for her. So the thing that we want to make sure to tell you is that the partner has to receive what the other one is saying. So, and acknowledge basically what the other one is saying. So acknowledging like, okay, I hear you, baby. It might be a good idea, but you know what? I'm not sure that I wanna go there, or maybe I wanna think about it a little bit.
Or maybe not for tonight, maybe another night. Like if you're creating a date night together, right? Making sure that no matter if you have kids or puppies or whatever, you're still dating your partner. And so you might be talking to each other about, what do you want to do tonight? And he might say to me, well, what about going ice skating? Now, I might not want to do that, right? And it's like, well, that's a good idea. That's an option. Let's think about that, right? Or maybe we could go to a movie. Well, I'd like to spend more time with you than just going into a movie. Okay, well then, maybe we could go for a walk or go to a picnic, or and then you're listing all of these things, not as like, no, that one sucks, no, I don't like that, no, I don't want to get cold, I don't want to blah, blah, blah. Don't bring the negativity into the creative space when you're thinking about things to do. So that's one of the things that we really shifted in our relationship, because we noticed, both of us, it was on both sides, where we would feel shut down, and then it was like we didn't want to be creative anymore. We didn't want to bring up something because out of the fear of we were going to be shut down. And so, you want in your relationship the creativity to flow, and you want to be able to
tell each other these ideas, these wonderful ideas that all of a sudden come up, and we're happy to have these ideas.
We're excited, right? Yeah.
When I come up to you and say, hey, I have this idea, let's go skating tonight, it's like I feel like it's been a while since I'm living now in Arizona and not in Montreal anymore. I'd like to skate once in a while. And so maybe for her, it's really not something that she prefers to do. But for me, in the spur of the moment, it's like, hey, wow, I haven't skated in a while. So if she kind of negates that idea that I had, it's really deflating for me. I receive it in a way of, no, that's that. But if she says, oh, cool, that's a cool idea right now, but you know what, maybe the boys would prefer, the boys told me yesterday that they really would like to go see a movie. Oh, okay. All right. Well, she heard me. She heard what I had to say about my skating.
Or maybe we can go this weekend instead of tonight, So it's not that it's out of the question, or no, I'm never going to skate again because I hate it. I'm saying, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's figure, would you be open if we didn't do it tonight, maybe this weekend? Or we can talk about when we want to do it.
Yeah.
So it's giving everybody an opportunity to stay in that creative, open flow. That's number one.
Number one.
Yeah. Number two is that when your partner says something to you, not because they're wanting to hurt you, but because they're preoccupied with something, or they just say something that comes off the top of their head and it feels like an ouch, instead of getting mad and reactive, all you have to do is say,
ouch. That feels bad. I'm
didn't-
hurt. It feels bad inside. I'm hurt from that comment.
that didn't feel good to me, right? So it could be something like you get in the car, he's been golfing all day, he didn't have a time to take a shower, we get in the car and it's like, wow, you stink.
So that's an ouch, baby.
Ouch. One time I said to him, like, wow, you stink. And he goes, ouch, I love you too. And I just busted out laughing. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that. You know, it's like our human moment. Sometimes we just say things,
right,
and we don't mean to intentionally hurt our partner, but it does. You know, it does sometimes, right?
And here's the thing: it's easy also to say, you know, to get offended by it.
Right.
And
yeah.
say, oh my God, you don't want to spend time with me, so okay, so
you don't love me anymore. Relationship's over.
and then leave. It's like, okay, I'm done. And all of a sudden there's a conflict that arises, and so yes, it's to be in the space again of being a mature adult and understanding of also how she's feeling. If I'm coming back from a golf game, I get that I'm smelling like you know, the golf grass, and it's not personal. It's what she's feeling, right? It's not towards. I mean, it is towards me, but she's feeling that. She's the one that is smelling the grass on me. So I'm just there saying to her, ouch. You know, this is this hurts me. It doesn't. I'm receiving it in a weird kind of way.
Yeah.
And then for us, the saying ouch is a way of keeping it in a loving space, right? Instead of reacting and saying, oh, what the hell are you saying that for?
Right.
You know, then there's no more discussion. Then there's a conflict, and there's a situation where we have to deal with now the energy that comes up of frustration and
right.
and then there's a fight.
Right. Or I don't like those pants on you. Ouch.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, because the last thing you want to do is ouch your partner that you love, right? So if you say something and he comes back at you or she comes back at you in a way that they're defensive, they're now hurt, they shut down, they don't know that they've ouched you because you're not handling it or not communicating it or not doing it in a way your emotions are taking over. This little process of ouch changed our relationship. It's one of those tools that changed our relationship because it's now just a quick ouch, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, right? And he feels heard, or I feel heard, because that's an ouch, right? Whether it's something you say, something you do, you know, it's a great process to get into. It's a great tool to get into. Mm-hmm. And I say that to other people. I'll say that to my mom now. I've said it to my sister-in-law, where you know, you might have people that are in your life that have negative perspectives on things or negative opinions, and they just say whatever comes out of their mind, you know, without thinking about it or how it would be affecting another person. They're kind of insensitive. So I'll say to my mom, ouch. And she's like, oh, come on, I didn't mean, you know, and it's like, I'm still getting out the fact that that didn't feel good for me. Hearing that does not feel good for me. And the person that loves you, whether they're conscious or not, it makes them step back and go, oh, I apologize. I didn't mean to hurt you, right?
We don't want to hurt each other.
Right. So another thing, another step or another tool, another principle for conscious connected coupling is the looks that you do, right? The looks to connect. So we all have busy lives, right? But if I just take a moment and I just connect with Frederic, and a word does not have to be said. It just is a moment to just connect with him, and for him to connect. We feel each other's soul presence. Mm-hmm. It's like, we're feeding the relationship.
So when we're in a room and we're with friends or we're with family and we're entertaining, others and we're talking with others, and perhaps it's been a little while that we haven't spoken to each other, just to stay connected to one another. We kind of look at each other across the room, and when we do give each other a look like that, it's just a reconnection of our couple, right?
Yeah.
Within our couple. So it just feeds
Our
our love, feeds our relationship, even when we're not necessarily together, talking with each other. It's just give each other a look.
It's an energy exchange of love. So what happens is it comes from my eyes, but it's coming from my heart, and the energy goes out to him, and then he's able to receive it, and then he also gives it back by his look and presence to me. So it's this beautiful infinity symbol of connection and love that is just going back and forth, and that is what we are feeding. Now, you could feed the relationship. We're feeding the relationship all the time. If I looked at him and I had a really mean look on my face, I'm throwing daggers of energy at him. That is not love. And he's going to receive it, and he's either going to cower, depending on the person, or he's going to get mad himself, or he's going to be like, ouch, whatever that is. But it's really being mindful of the energy that you're giving out to your partner. And one of the ways is through your eyes and the looks that you give him or her.
And we're not saying, to be fused together, and there is a timing for us to do this. It's not like we need to absolutely.
We're not like in the
stay
elevator
touch.
and looking at each
Exactly.
other all the time. It's
That's
it's just a connection point.
Right. It's been a while. For example, we're at a party. It's been, I don't know, an hour or so that we haven't spoken to each other, and sometimes it's just a little look, a little friendly look that we give to each other, and it's a way of kind of playing too with each other, right?
Yeah.
It's a little playful.
Well, we did it this morning. We got the puppy, we got the kids. They're trying to get everybody out the door so we could come into the studio. And it was just, got in the car and just spent a moment just in the breath of looking at each other and connecting with each other. And that in the chaos of all that's going on, we still stayed connected, right? So the next one is similar to a look, but it's a touch. Right? We could be in the kitchen, we could have the puppy running around, the kids doing all sorts of things, and I could just come up to him and, grab his arm, and it's like he receives my love in that way. Or I can come over and, flirt with him and grab his butt or smack his butt or, that kind of thing. He's got a nice booty. So, something like that. Or he could just, we could be on the couch and he reaches for my leg and starts massaging my dog spot, my place on my foot that I love. That's like, just doing something where it doesn't take a lot of time, but it's another way of feeding that relationship and showing your partner that you love him, you love her, you're thinking about her, and it's just a quick touch. And, maybe it's a nice little just shoulder, like little rub while he's making the lunch or making the dinner or, whatever, or he comes into my office and touches my shoulder, and it's just a, hey, thinking about you, love you kind of touch. See, he's butter now.
I'm done.
Or
you continue the show along.
Or also another one is words, right? Words are important. I have a whole series called Watch Your Words. You can go to watchyourwords.com. It takes you through a series of what words to say and what words not to say and why, because vibrationally some will pull down your vibration and are rooted in lack, and other ones are higher in vibration and make you feel good. So the words that we say to our partners, just even giving words of affirmation, we talked a little bit about Chapman's work on the love language a couple of episodes back, but just texting him, and just saying, I love you. He was at soccer with the kids last night. I was teaching a class after I got done, and then informed him about how the puppy peed and pooed and all that he did. I sent him a message saying, I love you. Even deeper than that, you're my favorite person on the planet, I think was what I said, on this big rock. Big rock is what I said. But just even words of affirmation like that, keeping each other, I love you, or telling him this morning, I'm like, you look
grateful for what you do
exactly
for the family.
Exactly, like I did a couple nights ago when we were preparing dinner, and he took care of the puppy, I took care of the rest of the dinner. So, just him affirming to me that I really appreciate what you did, and I appreciate all that you do for the family. And having the acknowledgement and having those words of acknowledgement of thank you so much for how you take care of the boys' soccer and sports and make sure that they've got everything that they need. Those things really feed both of us and feed our relationship. Now, we're not coming from a place individually where we need the other person to feed us. Right. We're both whole and complete, and we work on that on a daily basis to stay centered and aligned within our own selves. And then this exchange is just a beautiful part of our lives. It's just like we get to share that higher level energy with each other, but we're not like, oh, feed me, because I'm so empty.
Again, it doesn't come from a place of fusion where we need to stay stuck together, right?
So fusion meaning two people are one. It's like our emotions are one, our opinions are one. No, we are two individual human beings with our own different feelings, with our own different perspectives, with our own different preferences and likes, with the things that I don't like to play golf, but he does, right? He doesn't like to go do spa stuff, but I do. He allows me to do what I like to do. I allow him to do what he likes to do. We don't have to be together 24/7. Now I have to become a golfer, or he has to go get massages with me. Right. We get to do our own separate things. He's Frederic. He's not, yes, he is dad, he is husband, he is son, he's, brother, he's son-in-law, friend, all the roles that he plays, right? But he's Frederic. And I am mom, and now puppy mom and wife and daughter and sister-in-law and all that kind of stuff. But I'm Christy. And when you think like, oh, this is my husband, that's my wife, these are the roles that we have to play, it's like that's fusion. So
it allows us. One, I have a saying to her is I want to be with Christy now.
Yeah.
And so when I get to be with Christy, we get to play together, we get to laugh together, we get to just enjoy each other and be with each other. Then I guess that's what happens when we give each other those kind words, words of affirmations even, right? And so now I'm able to perceive Christy. And so I get it inside my heart when
Absolutely.
I get these words, vice versa too. When I send words to her by text or write something, it's from my heart, it's from Frederic's heart, and she receives it in the same way.
Absolutely. That's a great point. Thank you. So a couple of other ones. We go through these in depth in our online courses, and of course we go through not just the awareness and the understanding of them, but the application of them, because it's in the application in your relationships where the changes are going to happen. If you start we're trying to give you bite-sized pieces of information on this podcast so that you can take them and start applying them. And just take them, even if your partner is not listening to this podcast with you, and you just use these, and like for next time someone insults you, you just go, ouch, see what their reaction is, right? When someone says, hey, I've got an idea, instead of the normal way of saying, no, I don't want to do that, go, hey, well, that's an option, that's a choice, right? See, just doing these different things, watching your words, being able to show looks of appreciation, touches of appreciation, words of appreciation. Two other ones that we wanted to talk about today that are really important and are more towards the a behavior of definitely you want to stay away from at all costs is number one is name calling. You don't ever want to, and we have that rule in our family, like just even with our kids, we do not name call. Like we don't go, oh, you're so stupid, or you're a jerk, or you're a knucklehead, or you're a
loser.
Yeah, name calling is not allowed in our family. And even when the boys are saying, oh, that guy, what is that phrase that Alex came home saying? Trash. Oh, he's trash. It's like the kids come up with these little words. I'm like, no, that's a name. That's name calling. It doesn't feel good. It's not good for you to name call, and it's also not good for anybody to hear that. And so this especially is true. And couples that we have worked with we never did that. Like we never went, like he never called me a bitch, or I never, we just never did that. That wasn't our thing. But couples that we have coached, if the husband, for example, gets mad, he'll call his wife a bitch. And it's like, that's so damaging, in that relationship. Or the wife will call her husband a jerk. And it's like, it's just literally think of like cancer in your relationship when you name call each other. I think one of the reasons for me is that, and getting really personal here, is that I would hear my mom and dad as long as I grew up, and they still do it. I mean, my mom's 83, my dad's gonna be 87, and they'll still call each other names. And it's like, that's not what love is supposed to be. And that would hurt my heart when I would hear them calling me a name, but because they used to call me a pain in the ass, which never felt good, but calling each other names, and in a loving relationship, that behavior, that habit just doesn't belong. And it's not going to help you create a conscious, connected couple. It just won't.
Right, because it's actually letting these emotions of anger getting the best of you. Once that's inside, and you need to name call, especially the one you love. What happens afterwards is, guess what? You need to backtrack and apologize, and
forgiveness, and
there's forgiveness that needs to happen. And it doesn't feel good for any of the parties once that's done.
Right.
It's received inside the person, as you say. It's like a cancer growing inside. And for me, it's a no-no.
It's a no-no, yeah.
I mean, and that has always been a rule of ours, in conflicts, in arguments, right? We have a set of rules that we've said to each other when we are in a state of anger and there's something that is really frustrating us. It's important to say, to the other, and to realize, the other one has told me that. If I name call, it'll be received, in a way that is really hurtful. Or for me, for example, if there's yelling, or if the doors are smashed shut, that for me shakes my soul inside. And I remember telling her that, and just her being aware of that. Now, when she's in that space of anger,
which I don't get anymore because we work our stuff, and we're always,
again, it's not as intense as it used to be. But she knows too, is like the shutting of doors doesn't need to happen, right?
It's very theatrical.
Very drama-like. And
it felt good to do, but it would upset him. Just like yelling, which is the next one we're going to talk about. Yelling would get me. Like, it would just shake my whole being. Like, oh my God, I can't have you yell at me like that, because it would just, my whole entire nervous system, because there was so much yelling in my house when I was a kid, it would just get me at my core, and I would just feel, I would start shaking. And so it doesn't feel safe. And when he's yelling at me, I don't feel safe in the couple. But what I wanted to say about just wrapping up the name calling is that name calling is very divisive, in the sense that if the person is hurt and they have the resentments because they've been hurt, those are like snakes and scorpions in your relationship that are constantly biting you. And so, and most people don't understand how to release a hurt or a resentment. They don't understand the process and the power of forgiveness. And that's really, really important as you have longevity in any relationship. Mm-hmm. So the last and final one before we wrap up today is screaming and yelling at each other. If it's natural, it happens. He might say something, do something. I might feel a whoosh of an emotion. Maybe I'm frustrated, maybe I'm angry, maybe like last night I was done. I was like, I am tired. I can't deal with the puppy anymore. And I knew that point for me. I'm like, can you all please take care of the dog? Like, I need to go to bed, and I need to go to bed now. And just because I'm just aware of my own self-care. And I was just announcing to everybody, boys, I'm not gonna cuddle with you as long tonight because I'm really tired. Like, I've got nothing left. I even said, I need sleep. And if I don't listen to that and push beyond it, then I can get really more overwhelmed and frustrated, or even angry at the smallest things. So that's for me to understand what's happening inside of me, so that I'm taking care of myself, right? But in those situations, if you're just learning how to process your emotions, how to do self-care, how to understand, I'm feeling this whoosh of anger, instead of going at your partner, work with your own emotions. We'll do an episode on that to help you do that. But then after you work with your own intensity of the emotions, then communicate to your partner instead of screaming and yelling at your partner. It's just a spewing, think of it as spewing poison that is just detrimental to your relationship.
Yeah, I think that is important. I was going to say that we do an episode on the screaming and yelling, because we are taught to kind of give our, release our anger that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not in the best. We have the best intentions, but it's not the best way to do it. And so there are other ways to release that anger and take care of ourselves first before we kind of hurt our partner that we love so much.
Absolutely. So wrapping it up today, think of something that you can do to feed your relationship, either giving a look, a touch, words of affirmation, really allowing your partner to have their creativity and choicefulness. Don't negate. Watch the negative behaviors that you yourself have, and start to become aware of why you do them, such as name calling, screaming and yelling, those type of things. And started practicing this week the ouch if something should happen with anybody. Could be with your boss, it doesn't matter. We are here talking about conscious connected coupling, but these tools can be used in any relationship. We're in relationship with everything and everyone in our lives, whether it's our most intimate, to our children, to whomever else, our friends, family, who else. So these tools will definitely help in any relationship. But let us know what you're taking away, what you're applying, and we'd love to hear your feedback on how these tools are helping you.
I just thought of, if you can do the look to your boss at one point, right? How weird would that be? You look at your boss and you smile. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Let's try that.
Yeah.
If that works.
Words of appreciation to your boss, though, they don't hear that too often.
Right.
I had a person I was working with, my marketing guy, and I'm always just in appreciation of people that I work with, and I just said, your team is amazing. I'm really grateful for you. And he's like, wow, I don't get a text or an email just words of appreciation. It's usually there's a problem. And he goes, it's so refreshing working with you because I feel appreciated. Everybody wants to feel appreciated, especially your intimate partner.
Yeah.
So next week on the show, we are going to be talking about when you psst at your partner, when you snap at your partner, when you psst at your partner, like a cat. Psst. So be sure to tune in next week. Thank you all so much. Have an amazing week.
Yes, enjoy your time together as a loving, conscious, aware couple.
It's a conscious, connected couple. Bye, everyone.
Have a good day. Ouch. I'll say something.
Ow!
I'll say something.
It's the most fun I've had in 3 days.
Hey, babe.
Thanks for listening to Conscious Coupling with Frederic and Christy Whitman. If you like our show and want to know more, check out ChristyWhitman.com. And please leave us a review on iTunes. Learn how to turn your partner into your soulmate. Join us again next week for another powerful episode.